Hey there, doing a little bit different video today, trying to do a little bit of a different video, I guess. I got asked by one of my followers, a real good friend of the channel and supporter, how I made this guy, the Spider-Fiend miniature that is featured in some of my, one of my games so far, Castle Crusades campaign. Reason I made this, if you didn't watch that video, is we're doing the Raw to 7 parts adventure, the old one from AD&D days, and they had, but Spider-Fiend miniatures have been released, and I waited for them to come out because I wanted to get them because I wanted to use them. And when they came out, I didn't really think they were that great, so I decided to make my own. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to try to show you the best I can how I went about that. So it started off with these two miniatures here. These are Reaper Bones miniatures. So you have this Spider Demoness and this Wolf Demon. So I went with those. And I probably won't do the complete assembly looking at this, but I can show you a bunch of the stuff that I did. Crack this bad boy open. These are some of the, I don't know what era bones these are. They're not the original bones, which were really hit or miss on whether they were good or not. Whoops, need that and that. They're a little bit different material, a little stiffer. So some stuff you won't need, like if you already see, the tails here, I can save that for another if I kit bash something else. This base, probably won't need it because I might talk about how I base it in this video. So I can toss that in there for now. The rest of this miniature, this guy here, you can see it clearly. He does, he needs some assembly, but the big part of it is getting the torso separate and attaching it to this torso, to this miniature. So what I do with that is it's nothing gentle. I'm just going to cut this off. I might have used a different pair of clippers when I did this on my other one. I have two of them now. I think I used a bigger set, but we can make this work. Don't force it, get a bigger hammer. That's my motto. Let's see. Let's try this. Let's see if I can not slice myself open on camera. That would be great. But you're gonna cut this off. Let's see. Preferably with a sharp X-Acto knife, which this one is okay, but probably could be sharper. There we go. It's getting there. Just takes a little bit of work. If you're a kid, a young kid, obviously all the warnings apply. Talk to your parents. Get them to supervise or do this for you because you could hurt yourself, which even as an adult, such as myself, the odds of me hurting myself are fairly good. Come on. Jeez. This one is tough. The other ones came off pretty easy, but like I said, I think I had a different pair of clippers when I built them. I have a bigger set. Actually original. Those things are original Games Workshop clippers that I got like 20 years ago when I first started painting. And they're still going strong. These work pretty good for small stuff, but for this, they're maybe not the best. You could use a saw too, like they have little saws. That would probably be easier and safer than hacking away at it with an X-Acto knife, but man, excuse me. Come on. It almost wants to break free. We're not going to use the bottom part, so at this point, it doesn't really matter what happens to it. There we go. So get that chopped off. And then all I'm going to do is I'll just take the X-Acto knife and trim it up and try to make it a little bit better of a cut. Level it out. Probably trim the edges a little bit, which I'll know better when I pair it up with the spider body. And then I'll know what I'll need to do to make it fit. Hopefully that's in focus. This is like the first time I have ever done a video like this, like of actually building models. I've been asked before, or like painting stuff, but I don't really have the setup for equipment and cameras and all that to do like a really good job of showing people how to build stuff. And quite honestly, like watching me build stuff I would imagine would be freaking maddening, because a lot of stuff, like if I build terrain and stuff like that, I have an idea of what I want to do, but like I very seldom ever plan anything out. So it really becomes like, it's just as a lot of it is as I go, I figure it out, and then this piece just snaps together like that. We'll glue it, but this piece isn't important right now. I'll talk about that piece in a little bit. So the next part is getting the upper body off of this, and I think this one will be easier because she is skinnier than the wolf demon was. Let me flip that over. Yeah. So we're just gonna, whoops, try to do that on camera. That would be helpful, Stan. There we go. Yeah, this one's way simpler. Come on. Come on. You're just going to snip that off. Again, don't need the upper body. Toss that in there. It leaves you with this piece here. Hopefully you can see that. This is the body, and it's gonna glue into the spider body. But again, I'm going to trim this up a little bit, just to, well, I said a little bit, not a lot. Always remember, you can take more off. It's hard to put more material back on once you take it off. So just take it a little bit at a time. Just trying to make it a little bit neater. There's kind of a rough cut with the clippers. A lot of that you won't see anyway once you get the body done. So then you just kind of put them together. Like I'm looking at them, and we're getting this kind of join here, and that's perfectly fine. What we're going to do next is I like to start it with the X-Acto knife, and I'll drill a little bit of a starter hole there. Whoop, geez, knocked my camera over. Then I'm going to take this pin vise, and I was talking about tools earlier. I've had this thing this is another one I got. This is a Games Workshop. Back when I first got into miniature painting, like 20-something years ago. Still going strong. Actually works better than a more recent one I bought. Based on its size, I can manipulate it in my hand a lot easier than the other one's bigger. It's from Army Painter. Good quality, it's just the size of it doesn't fit my hand as well. So I'm going to do that. This will hopefully give it a little bit of stability when I put it together, so I don't have to just glue it flat. I already cut a piece of wire, whoops, that I can't seem to pick up. Come on, I know that's going to fall on the floor. The thing with me is I am pretty much guaranteed to drop something while I'm working on miniatures, especially assembly. Assembly is my least favorite part of the hobby, and but I do like kit bashing. Like, I think that's fun. I haven't done like what I would say a lot of it. I've done a little bit. Oh, don't need that. I put it down. Now I don't know what I did with it. Oh, there we go. I've done a little bit of it, like, you know, weapon swaps and stuff. I don't consider that anything crazy. This is way too much material. If you can see the wire, I don't need nearly that much. I just cut off extra because, again, it's better to have more than not enough. So I'll just snip off the extra. Oh, I'm not using the best glue. I just had plastic glue I should have brought up, and that's not long enough. So we'll get rid of that. That's why I cut such a long piece, because if you screw it up, I have extra to work with. I should use regular super glue. This is, if I can spin it around, this is just plastic glue from Games Workshop. Probably sounds like a Games Workshop ad right now, but it's really not. I use a lot of stuff from different people, but this was what I had on hand because I was putting together some Star Wars Legion miniatures. And let's see, let's glue this body on. So The reason I say that may not be the best glue is because it's made for plastic, and that wire is obviously wire. So, and glue's weird. Like I put together a bunch of Legion miniatures last night, and all of them except for the last one went together no problem, and it was like the glue didn't even work. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I put it away before I got overly frustrated, but I'll finish that up later. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill a hole in the middle of this for the other side of the pin, so it has something to rest on, to go into. There isn't much of this body left right here because it's hollow, so, and it actually wants to come apart because the glue's not setting. Miniatures are weird, or glue's weird. Sometimes it works like instantly, other times it just doesn't. It can be frustrating. Probably one of the reasons, like I said, assembly is not my favorite part of the hobby. But these pieces I'm going to join together. I might have to test fit this a little bit. Oh, no, that actually fit pretty good. Wow. Well, I say that. Actually, well, okay. So it wants to stay on that side. I'm okay with that. I'm just going to snip a little bit off of it. Hopefully you guys can see this, and this doesn't, like I said, I don't have the best setup. I literally film all my videos with my iPhone, and that's what I use. So it's obviously not the best, but hey, work with what we got. I thought about getting a camera to do, if I ever got into doing like live streams. I know I've talked to some other painters and stuff, and in the past, and talked about maybe getting together to do like a live stream together and just paint, which I'd be down for. I don't have like good equipment. So this is going to glue together hopefully at some point, but this is another one of those moments where the glue is not cooperating. But what's going to happen is I'm going to glue this piece here together, and you can see how maybe the bottom edge, like here, it's just not very symmetrical. Like it doesn't fit very well. So what I'm going to do is, I just won't worry about that. It's actually better that it's not sticking right now, is I'm just going to shave some of this down and kind of make it fit. That's a nice thing about these Bones miniatures, is that they're great for kit bashing, because generally the material is really easy to like cut and shape the way you want it to, you know, if you're looking to do something different with it. So I'm just going to take this off, and that works with this model anyway, because she had a bunch of jewelry she was wearing, which this Spider-Fiend demon would not be wearing. He's not that fashionable, so he's going to, I'm just going to trim some of this rough edge off without cutting myself, hopefully. But again, like I said, if you're a young one and you stumble across this video, thanks for watching, appreciate it. And just get your parents' permission or supervision to do this, because like I said, I'm an adult and I have lost track of how many times I've cut myself. So yeah, just get that little bit paired up there. Not paired up, but paired down. And then, like I said, this glue is not cooperating today, but that's not a surprise. But it's going to fit on like this. Yeah, that's a better fit, like that. And I'll even go in and pare down the upper body to make it blend in a little bit better. So what I'll do is, again, take that off. And then I'll do the same thing to this. I'm just kind of beveling it like so. And what's going to happen after I do that, I'll show you the next thing. Probably won't get this thing to stick together because just my luck, but I'll have to work on it later. And this will be a reveal to my players, any that watch this video, is because they've already seen that I've made 2 of these, so now they know a 3rd one's in the works. So that should really excite them, I'm sure. Come on. Yeah, just trimming it down. Oh, we're about to get a visit from my cat. Maddie, what are you doing? Don't mind her. She's just curious what I'm doing, I guess. I'm surprised she doesn't come over. I usually don't film any videos. I'm upstairs. I usually do it downstairs where we actually game. But there's a bunch of stuff running down there, so I wanted to get this done while I was motivated to do it. So that's a little bit better, if you can see how that fits. Whoops, you can see it if I put it in the camera. It's gonna fit like that. And then once the glue sticks, which it's not gonna do right off, what I will do, maybe I didn't bring it up. Oh, no, I didn't. So I have this stuff made by Vallejo, and it's this Plastiputty. And it's kind of like green stuff, but it's, you could use green stuff. I don't like to use green stuff as much just because it takes longer to get it set up and prep. I will use it for like bigger joins and things. This would definitely work with green stuff. But this Vallejo Plastiputty, it's in a squeeze tube, and you can just squeeze it out. It has like a needle-like nozzle, and you can fill. I would go around and I would fill that crack and smooth it all out. So the join, you wouldn't notice the join once it's done, because that's rough like that. But once it's on there, glued down. Matter of fact, it's kind of gluing itself down. Let's give it a little extra. I still will, like, one of the reasons I use stuff like, I don't often use like Games Workshop glue, or things like that, because it's expensive for one. And I usually just go to the hobby store and buy like super glue, the hardware store, and buy super glue. But recently my nephew got into playing Warhammer, and he gave me, I tried to get him started, so I took his box of miniatures, and he had bought a bunch of stuff to include some of this glue, and I painted up some of his models for him and put them together, and that glue worked really well on the miniatures. So I was like, I finished up the miniatures I was going to paint for him, so then I gave all that stuff back. But I really liked how this worked on plastic miniatures, so I went and bought a bottle for myself yesterday. So that's that. So we would take that would get set. The crack would get filled and smoothed out. You could go take it further and cut the legs off and reposition them, do all that. And I might do that because I might do a slightly more dynamic base for this. I've done two relatively simple ones. I may do something a little more crazy, or I might just take the easy way out and stick with uniformity so they basically look the same. I'll base them on this. This is a 3D printed base. It's either a 3-inch or a 4-inch. I don't honestly remember. I think it's 3. I think it's 3. But I'll base them on that. Just standard basing stuff. Maybe use a little bit of cork here and there for a rock. Obviously, the rest of him will get assembled on there. And I put all these on. He's got a regular arm and then 2 claw arms. So I kind of made my own version of the Spider-Fiend based off the stats in the box set, which I've shown on camera before, but I can show it right now. Actually, I'm using it as a computer stand as we speak, but this is the box set that we're playing through. I say playing through. I'm using it as for my raw to 7 parts lore and stuff. I'm not playing it exactly because we're fitting it into my own setting and at our own pace and that. So that will glue on like that, though. That glues on like that. And the body, this thing, I'll glue these pieces right now are separate. I'll glue those together. But how I get this texture, this actual like fur texture, is I take these are Army Painter tufts, and these are the Deadland tuft. You can use, if you wanted a different color, you could grab any of theirs. But I experimented with these and liked them, so I bought some more. And I basically just super glue those onto this egg body, this egg-shaped body. The reason I super glue them, they are sticky, but I don't know how long that would really last over time. So when I use these, even on bases or terrain, miniature bases or terrain, I super glue them down and not just rely on the adhesive that's on them. So I do the same thing. I just go around the egg with some super glue. I do it kind of piecemeal. I'll do a section at a time. You don't have to do like this very bottom. In fact, I'd recommend you don't, because this is going to sit down a little bit. I'll go down here so the curvature is covered, but you don't need to do this because nobody's going to see it. And it's a waste of not only this stuff, but it could also interfere with making it sit flush with the body. So that's that. That's about it though. Like I said, I'll assemble the rest of them, trim up the mold lines which it has plenty of. I'll do that, and then I'll get it together and then prime it and get it painted, ready for the table for the next time the players run into some Spider-Fiends. You know, maybe there'll be 3 of them instead of 1 or 2. You never know. Depends on how well they're doing, I guess, or my mood at the time. Well, what's going on with this? Oh, so that was backwards. Let's do it this way. Yeah, hopefully any of that's on camera, because like I said, this is not a professional setup. But yeah, the Bones miniatures are weird, and I didn't wash them, which a lot of people say you should, and they're probably right, and I do that sometimes, but I didn't do that this time. So we'll just let them sit and do their thing. This thing, I don't know why they made this in 2 pieces, but I often wonder that about a lot of miniatures, but I guess it's so you get better detail or marketing. I don't know what it is, but I'll glue those together. No big deal. I thought about shaving these little bumps off, but they don't even really get in the way, nor do you even notice them once you get all the tufts on. So I don't bother, because it's just a wasted step. So you don't need to do that if you don't want to. But yeah, that's it. If you got any questions about this, comments, even if it's like never do one of these again, please let me hear them. If you have any other questions about this, how, you know, later in the process, maybe I could do something with that. It's just painting after that, but that's the end result. I don't remember which one this might have been the first one I did. Oh yeah, it's definitely the first one I did, because I painted it back in January. So the first one, but these are way cooler in my opinion than the ones that the pre-painted ones that WizKids put out. So, and my players thought they were pretty neat when I put it on the table. So, and we're suitably terrified, which is what we're going for. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, any questions, comments? Thanks, Andy, for the suggestion, and hope you got something out of the video. Catch you later.